to the sheet test case. So for that I need to create a new object called my sheet, which will point to that sheet where test case is residing, test case and test data is residing. So it comes like active workbook dot worksheet. It's test cases. So now we have pointed that to our test cases. Now during testing we know there are 7 test cases. So we will give a loop so that loop runs 7 times. That means in short it will run that same test steps 7 times by changing the username and password, and that username and password will be taken from this Excel sheet. So let's see how we are going to do that. For that we have to give a loop saying for I equal to 7 to 13. What is this 7 and 13? 7 is the row where this test data is starting from, and 13 is the max row, the upper limit where the max row count where the last test data is residing. So 7 is the first row where the test data is residing, and 13 is the last row where the test data is residing. So in this loop I will run the entire test case 7 times. Now next would be I need to pick the username and password from the test data of this Excel sheet. I will substitute the value which I received from the Excel sheet into a variable called username. So cells I comma 7 dot value. So in this thing, when I is equal to, the first value will be 7, so 7 7. What does this 7 mean? This 7 actually point to this column. So if you see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so G is the 7th column. So username will be coming from, the first username will be coming from 7th row 7th column, and the first password will be coming from 7th row 8th column. So now we have got the username, and the password would be my sheet dot cells I 8 dot value. So now during each loop we'll be getting different username and password. Here this is a constant value. We are going to change that to the variable where which actually gets the value from the Excel sheet during each loop. So it's username, and here it is a password. So these two variables are the same variables which are used above here. Now every time they get a value, it gets substituted here, and the same test scripts keeps on running. We will enhance our script so that instead of showing the message box here, we'll enhance the script such that it updates the test results as pass or fail in the Excel sheet under column F. So the script itself will say whether the test case has passed or failed based on the actual and the expected result. So we'll modify the script to handle that. So the logic will be we will be assigning the actual result to a variable called actual. Instead of a message box, and we'll make sure this message is same what we are showing in the expected result. Now we have stored the actual result which we get during our execution into a variable called actual. Now another logic will be included in this to see that if the expected and the actual are equal. If the expected result and the actual result are equal, then we will update under the column F as pass or fail. So the logic would be if actual result that is stored in variable actual is equal to my sheet I comma 5 dot value, then so this states that the actual result is equal to, if the actual result is equal to expected result, my sheet I comma 5, it means the fifth column, that is fifth columns comes this one. So if the actual result that is stored in the variable actual is equal to the expected result, then update under this column, under column F as pass, else update under column F as fail. So the code will be something like this: my sheet dot cells I comma 6 dot value equal to pass, else the value will be fail. So pass and fail will be written back to the Excel. Now after doing all these things, we need to make sure that we are saving the Excel sheet. That will be active workbook dot save. After saving active then close the workbook. and then quitting the application, Excel application. Now releasing all the objects created during runtime. That is my sheet is equal to nothing. Same thing, set my Excel equal to nothing. Now let's close the Excel. If you see, now the pass field is blank. Now let's close this Excel. Let's run the script and see how it behaves with parameterization. So it's now created an object called excel.application. It has opened the Excel, made it visible. Now it's launching the application. Here we have not hard-coded any username password. It will be taking the username and password from the Excel sheet during the runtime. Now you can see it has passed a valid username and password. Got into the application, signed out the application. It has updated the value as pass in the first row. You can see that. Now it's running the second test. So it has successfully run the second test. So you can notice here one thing, that the same script has been used again and again. Only thing changed was the username and password, and that too was provided during runtime from the Excel sheet. That is known as parameterization. It has ran the third script. So now it has successfully run 5 tests, 2 more remaining. Now the last and final test case. So now it has successfully tested all the test cases.